Hello everyone. This is Tribecast episode 18 and my name is Marina. Though I have announced that the interviews from the event Diversity at Work are not well recorded, I have managed to save 2 of the interviews after some hard editing. Therefore, today you'll hear the amazing Riikka Jakovouri from Go4 and the inspiring Kamilla Sultanova from My Speaker talking, about the diversity at work. And then we'll go back to the studio of Tribecast in the co-working space P47 to hear about Finland's International Game School from Leland Masek. By the way, I have one more piece of information before we proceed to the interviews. Next week, co-working space P47 will be closed on 5th and 6th of July. And this is because the entire Tribe Tampere team goes to Helsinki to the coolest networking party in town, which is Tribe Plus. And now let's get back to the guests of this week. Hello, Kamilla.
Please, first things first, tell our listeners a few things about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Kamilla Sultanova and I'm a public speaker, facilitator and business consultant in education, export and workforce diversity.
What does it actually mean, business consultant?
So business consultant is, when I went on stage today, I asked you to tell them that I'm a business consultant with an activist mindset. I'm matching 2 passions of mine in creating, a better place. So what I do as a consultant, I take Finnish education to Uzbekistan. So I'm part of internationalization in Uzbekistan and in Finland, as it's, national strategies in both countries. And I also let my customers, whoever is interested in going beyond national borders, whatever marketing, market strategies, go-to-market strategies, I let them tap into my network and I help them with their projects to run faster.
Do you actually feel that Finnish businesses are comfortable going abroad, especially to that unsimilar cultures?
So, as a rule of thumb, yes, Finnish companies would be afraid to go abroad because it's unknown. It's a huge risk of failure, and risk averseness is part of normal trend, not just in Finland but in many Nordic countries, including Denmark. But I think that the core thing is to find the companies who already know Uzbekistan or are in the region, let's say in Russia or Central Asia, and really offer them what is my value add so that we could work together. And the cool thing is right now, Business Finland is really ambitious in taking Finnish companies, middle-sized and small middle-sized companies abroad.
Right. Was it easy for you as an international talent to start your own business here in Finland?
So I started a bit of a year ago. It was not difficult. You just went on a PRH website and you registered your company, and then everything came on, 2 weeks later by post. It's very simple. I think they're really working to make it even easier now. I think I was more afraid and, took more time to write my business plan, because that is really when shit hits the fan.
Right. And for our listeners, if you ever have problems with writing your business plans or organizing any other documents and you genuinely feel that you would use some advice as an international talent willing to start your own business in Finland, you're more than free to contact us at Tribe Tampere and probably we'll find a solution for you, especially within this latest project of advising pop-up info desk. Check more info on our social media. But also starting your own business is quite much about networking. Between me and you, as 2 internationals, Finnish people are believed not to be huge at networking and talking to people they don't know. How did you tackle this problem?
Yes, that was my biggest fear when I moved here when I was 30. So I moved to Denmark when I was 18, fearless students. But now I was an adult with working experience, and not knowing anyone here was really something that took me the time to actually decide, should I join my boyfriend here? What I did is, as I was really involved as volunteer in Denmark so many years, I joined and actually started a movement here myself from scratch with Sultanova, who lives in Denmark, my biggest role model. She lives in the US now, but at the time she was in Denmark, and I knew I needed some friendships, and through volunteering and giving, community engagement, I would gain few friendships. So I did that. Very fast, I got to know a lot of, speakers who would be speaking to youth about dignity, confidence, and power to dream. Now, after 5 years, I feel quite home in Helsinki because of the people I know.
Today you talked as one of the speakers for this Diversity at Work project by International. Are you about to take part, to participate in any other events like this, or, well, whatever events and projects?
Yes, so I've teamed up with two companies. One is Equality Consultancy. They do unconscious bias training and strategies on diversity recruitment and retention. And also with a Mondoc, it's an advertising agency for social impact projects. So we're going to connect Finnish companies who want to create more engaging teams, and that's where they can create and really find diversity solutions. I call it diversity in action. So I'm speaking in all the events where I feel invited, or at least I can feel I can add value with my story and my quest to how diversity inclusion really helps Finnish companies. So it's very underrepresented, and it's nice that there's a national strategy for internationalization in Finland, which is now really opening up Finnish companies and promoting it in Minister of Finance, Minister of Employment, to really open up to the world. So my focus is to help companies believe in it and also gain some real practical tools to how we actually work on engaging teams, because once you have international, there are people with multicultural background coming here. How do we make them stay? Why? What really matters? How are we human to each other? So I love that idea of empathy and opening up and finding those engaging moments through either being a mentor, the workplace, or someone who is always there for you when you just arrive to Finland.
A few companies I talked to also shared this fear that when you have internationals on board as your employees, you start to have the cultural clashes within the company. So basically it's difficult to manage a very diverse team. What do you say to that?
Diversity is hard. It's freaking hard, even, if you're also in intersectionality background, you're Muslim, you come from a scum country, and you have a dark skin, and you speak Russian. So there is a lot of stereotypes. So I think diversity is only going to work if, it's part of your growth strategy, and it's really led by company leaders. And if it's really communicated well, there's huge commitment. There also will be people recruited based on yearning for that diversity, being able to show ambition in tackling these challenges. And Finns are traveling around the world. The human capital here is absolutely amazing. So I just think that it's an old kind of mindset that should be trained, and that's what we mean by offering these diversity inclusion consulting forms of unconscious bias training, engagement, also onboarding. What is the cross-cultural dialogue? What is it? How do we make it really work for each of us, and divide team tasks so that everyone is the best version of themselves? But yes, it's absolutely annoying, especially if you're working in a global market space. Finland is an export country. You need to export a lot abroad, and you can have a lot of international customers who are not even geographically present. So the challenge is to really want it, manage it, and to manage this global complexity of trade and team dynamics which is on Slack or on email, or you don't see customers or clients. So it's manageable. I just think the culture and how you promote diversity as part of the culture will really have that buy-in.
Thank you very much for this interview, Kamilla. It was an active day, so probably we'll cut down here, but thank you very much for having this time and for your amazing presentation today. And for those of you who have missed today's event, first of all, there will be more. Secondly, there was streaming. And third, you can hear some of the speakers of Diversity at Work in the next 2 episodes of Tribecast.
Would you like to add something before we finish?
So my call for action for my today's speak was to cultivate and invest in social capital of both employees and the people we deal with as our stakeholders. Because if we invest in social capital, which is your network, your new connections, weaker ties, networks, you will have also diversity of your connections, which you would otherwise not meet. So by mingling and promoting your giving back strategy as a CSR in local communities, I believe people will meet each other's based on different postcodes, regardless what where you're from, what your age is, which orientation you are, and that mix will bring you some new ideas, new perspective, new decision making. And that's where I see that innovation and growth really happens between, in this dynamic between people and culture. And today, the audience was extremely diverse, and I really believe that we are in a great momentum here, and all the entrepreneurs can really be part of this narrative and this movement.
Thank you. Thank you for these thought-provoking ideas, and I think I'll re-listen to this interview and think about it just myself.
Thank you so much for having me. All the best.
And one more guest whom I met at this amazing Diversity at Work event organized by International is Riikka. Hello, Riikka, and please tell our listeners a few things about yourself.
Okay, my name is Riikka Jakovouri. I work for COFOR, and I'm a principal consultant and head of the capability of recoding cultures and future work.
You did a really interesting presentation about culture at work, like business culture in general, about Go4. And before I move to that, can we consider Go4 to be a startup? Because you guys grew up really big, really quick, really big.
Yeah, well, actually, it took some years. So, I mean, we are already like 16 plus years old. But I think Go4 a little bit like a startup because, for example, what I do, I started the culture practice 2.5 years ago. So that is more like internal startup. So in that sense, yes, you must say that.
Right. And could you please tell our listeners a few things about, it's kind of a bit repeating your presentation, a few things about the culture you have in the Go4 and some specific features?
Well, Go4 culture is well, definitely it's unique. I never seen or experienced anything like that. It's a mixture of, I would actually say a few things. So there's transparency. I think that's number one. And it's definitely built around how we communicate and the tools we actually use. So we use Slack for that, and also we have our own development platform that actually a lot of information, how to operate and how to do things are kind of like given to us rather than having someone to micromanage us. The other thing is self-determination. It's a big topic of today, but I think, how we operate is definitely fully there. And it doesn't mean that we work alone. It means more like, we do things that we think are of value to us and definitely to our company towards a commonly shared goal. And there is definitely trust in our organization, which gives a great platform, and actually a platform that is required to be self-determined and transparent. So I think those two key features, I think they're really something that then accelerate the way we do things, the way we work, have fun, and we're a very big community, network-like organization. I think those are the great traits of our company.
Go4 is one of the supporters of today's event, which is Diversity at Work. Why have you decided to support this event? What's there for you?
Well, actually, Go4, we believe that each individual is important, and each individual have their strengths and the qualities that can make a good business. So I think the topic is definitely something that we admire and we live up to every day. And I think future companies are definitely, they need to be on that platform like diversity of work. Because if you have unified workforce, then, the result is I don't believe it could be as good as when the workforce is diverse and multicultural and has unique traits.
At least in my understanding, business still means that you have to, push people to do things they are not really willing to do, because this is how work sometimes is. Maybe criticizing them, maybe just making them do their job when they become a bit, How do you balance in Go4 this care about the employees with the necessity of still like a bit controlling them and keeping them doing their job? Or do you believe that like if you create this perfect atmosphere, people will be doing everything just by themselves?
Yes and no. First of all, I think it's really crucial for people to understand what makes good business. Mm-hmm. In order to have fun, what is required, what needs to actually function. And I think that is a platform of kind of like the old business, so the performance-driven business. So obviously you have to make up the numbers to pay the salaries and have the nice facilities and do the fun things. I think, when the goal is clear and people understand, what needs to get done to have fun, I think then you don't need to micromanage and you don't need to tell people what to do, but they kind of like see themselves, they are self-determined and go to the right direction. And obviously,